All right. Good evening, everybody. Carlos with the Bernie Sanders Brigade, and I'm here with a friend of mine, someone that is very special, and someone that we all need to know and meet actually. And this is Richard Castaldo. Richard Castaldo, how are you?
Hello, everybody. I'm well.
Tell us a little bit about you, who you are.
I'm okay. I guess I'm relatively famous for being in sort of it's probably the most infamous school shooting of all time now. The Columbine one. It's the one everyone keeps. Every time there's a shooting, it seems like that they mention Columbine over and over again. I've heard it probably at least 5 times. I was watching the town hall thing or whatever, and they kept mentioning it.
Yeah, Richard Castaldo is a survivor rather, of Columbine shooting. Back in what year would that happen?
99.
99. And it's very important for us to introduce you to him because he has been left in a wheelchair after taking a bullet in his back. Tell us a little bit about that, please. I know it's very...
Yeah. Well, first of all, I was just saying, morons keep saying about, this recent shooting was crisis actors, and some guy said I was being paid by George Soros to fake my injuries. I have an x-ray of a bullet still on my back, actually, and I'm in a wheelchair. I have a spinal cord injury, T4 spinal cord injury. And, I've just been watching the news, everybody just horrified that there was another one, and it's just, my first reaction was just I can't believe this is happening again, and just very upsetting, and it's just infuriating, frankly, that it just, nothing seems to ever get done. It's, I'm proud of, these students are very encouraging that they're finally actually doing something, so I'm very happy that they're taking such a horrible thing and trying to make something positive out of it finally.
I mean, after living through what you have lived, and now you have to struggle every single day. I mean, when these shootings take place, that really hits home every time.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's very upsetting. I take it kind of hard just because I know I know what it's like and how horrible it is. And
now, this is very real. This is very real. The fear that a lot of the students are feeling, the frustration from the teachers that another school, is being hit, and now we have this incidents almost every other day.
Seems like it, yeah.
And the changes that have taken place have been extremely slow. You were telling me that's one of your biggest frustrations is not being able to see that nothing is being done.
Yeah, I mean, even after the Vegas shooting, it's like they were talking about the bump stocks, which is so, I mean, that's just picking at the very, very outer edge of that's literally the least they could do, and they couldn't even do that. And I know Trump mentioned it again recently, so hopefully, maybe finally that can get through. But that's really almost nothing compared to what needs to be done. But I mean, I guess it's better than nothing, but barely.
Yeah, we were discussing, and this has to be made very clear because a lot of people think that all of a sudden, we want all guns to be brought in and that no one should have a right for guns, but that's not what you believe. Tell us a little bit of that.
Well, yeah, I mean, I believe sane, law-abiding people should be able to have guns, and I think maybe they should have to have more training because people, there's gun accidents all the time. Not to even mention the intentional things, but people. I think there was an NRA instructor again in Florida or something. Somehow she tossed her gun in the back, and her toddler picked it up and shot her in the back or something. And she was like an NRA instructor. It's just I mean, if you need to respect guns for what they are. I mean, they're potentially deadly weapons, and a lot of people online don't seem to take them seriously. It's not a toy, it's a thing that can kill you, and people need to, at the very least, respect it for what it is,
Right. Now we have had so much opportunities for changes, but these changes never go away, or never come rather. And that's the frustration that I think that a lot of the families are feeling right now, that another mass, again, shooting taking place, and little has been done about this. What are some of the stuff that you think is necessary right now? Some are obvious, but are there some things that come to your mind that you would like to see done or happen?
Well, other than the bump stocks, I think the most blatantly obvious thing after that to me is the background check system. It needs to be universal for everybody. Like you shouldn't be able. There should be no such thing as a private seller. I don't know what that means. I mean, it should be, if you're buying a gun, you should have to go through a background check. Period.
I mean, some of these guns are so easy to get. We saw a video in Tennessee where a man is selling lemonade. He basically set up a table. He's selling lemonade, and then the other side of the table, he's selling his machine gun. That's how easy some of these things are.
Yeah, it definitely needs to be harder. I think maybe the background check needs to be a little bit more strenuous too. I mean, I don't know how this kid was able to get guns. I mean, I guess the cops went to go see him over 30 times or something, and people were scared that he was saying crazy things, and he was still able to get, not just a gun, but a very powerful gun that can kill people that fast. It doesn't make any sense.
You were very young when the shooting in Columbine happened. How old were you at that time? Do you remember?
I was 17.
17 years old, and the shooting left you in a wheelchair. But you have been a voice for the people. You have stood up when it's counted, and you want to do the same thing now, understanding that there are a lot of students, a lot of teachers, a lot of parents that feel afraid and in disbelief that this continues to happen. What do you have to tell them?
Well, like I said, I'm very encouraged by these students finally doing something. Usually they just say after when this happens, it's not the time and to talk about guns, and it seems like exactly a time to talk about guns to keep it from happening. And I guess I shouldn't belittle thoughts and prayers too much, but thoughts and prayers alone is not going to solve the problem. We need to actually do something.
All right, and coming from a survivor, we take that, we don't take that lightly. I think that voices like yours need to be out there and need to be heard. And this is why we're doing this video, because there is a lot of accusations going around. This is a Soros thing. Someone is behind the kids. But the fact of the matter is that when these shootings take place, it enrages a lot of people. It affects communities. Families are broken, torn apart. Anything else you would like to add here?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think these kind of guns should even be obtainable by anybody. I mean, if it's one thing to have a gun for defense, but these guns are literally designed for killing large amounts of people. I mean, I don't know why these should be attainable to the general public. I mean, I think it's literally just like it's a military grade weapon just modified slightly for civilian use, and that makes no sense to me for that to be so hyper available. They should definitely make it way harder to get, if at all, frankly. But
yes, I mean, as a veteran, I understand about weapons, but I also understand that there has to be responsible policies in place so that the general public don't have that easy access.
Absolutely.
And when I say general public, it's everyone, including those people that have mental illness or those people that have really bad backgrounds. You have to be able to have policies in place that are responsible. Yes,
I think it's clearly well, even the doctors that are in the emergency room says it's a public health crisis because they see people shot up probably all the time, way too often. So it just from a public health perspective, it's gone on for too long.
Now let's talk a little bit about money and politics, particular, the way that the NRA influences both parties. By the way, both parties take money from the gun lobby industry. What do you think about that?
I think it's disgusting that the NRA controls. They seem to have more influence than people being shot, which I think is crazy. I think any politician that takes even $1 from the NRA should be ashamed of themselves, frankly. And I mean, I think this goes back to the Citizens United thing too. Like, no one should be. Only flesh and blood human beings should be able to influence politics. To me, it's just giant corporations, including the gun industries, are bribing Congress essentially, and
It's amazing because right now we had a town hall meeting. We do have the news agencies covering this, but the fact is that we should have been talking about this for a long time. It's just, why do we have to wait until there are this grave incidents taking place? So now we had a town hall meeting and we're watching on TV, and basically you have the NRA rolling out all their PR people to spin this thing around. And yeah, they're going to agree with the obvious, but the fact is that they're not willing to make those deep changes that are required to have a safe nation.
Yeah, we need to be doing a lot more. But yeah, I don't. Any of these politicians. I mean, what they gave Trump like $30 million to get elected or something, and just
Yes, Trump took $30 million from the gun industry, and besides that, we see how much money is being spent in weapons. When the military has a huge budget already, and the problem is that they keep taking away from schools, from education, from social programs that are beneficial to young people.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's the other thing I was going to say. I think this country is constantly at war, and we're constantly at war, killing people abroad, and then we act surprised when it comes back and the kids use violence. Our country uses violence, so it's not exactly surprising me when it comes back to. It sets extremely bad example, I guess, is the point. We need to stop. We need to stop the military-industrial complex, like Eisenhower said, and it's just gotten worse since he died. But
now the other point that we also need to make that is very also important is that the media plays a big role in all this, because everything that comes out of Hollywood really is violence. You have a lot of violence. The gaming industry, the music industry. All those have an effect on our children, on society. So besides politicians, we have again the media and different entertainment industry that also plays a big role in this.
Yeah, the Columbine thing. It seems like after every one of these shootings too, the guys they become like a hero or something in a sense. Their names plastered everywhere, their faces plastered everywhere, and I think that's a big part of the reason they do it, is to get on TV. And I think that really has to change. I think it's making these people famous is not helping one bit, and I think the media really needs to stop doing that. And I really wish they would, because I'm sure that feeds these crazy people.
Well, we know that these are facts, and these are just facts. We know that the media, follows all these kind of stories that are related to high crime and stuff like that, because again, it gives them higher ratings when they start pursuing real stories like why this has not been fixed prior to that.